What's up, everyone? It's your favorite producer, PJ, from the OK Podcast, and I'd like to tell you about a veteran fundraiser that is more than just OK. The Strength Co. will be hosting the 3rd annual Turkey Pull fundraiser for the Simplify in America's Fund on November 16th, 2024. That's November 16th, 2024. Don't go run a 5K this Thanksgiving. Come do some deadlifts and raise some money for this important organization that supports active military, veterans, and their families. You can come to this event in person, or you can join us online, and all proceeds go to the Simplify in America's Fund. Click on the link in the description and sign up today. We'll see you there.
All right, and welcome back to episode 039er, Marine Corps Talk, Niner, that's how you say 9, of the OK Podcast, powered by the Strength Co. I'm your host, Grant Broggi. Today's date is September the 25th, year of our Lord 2024. The price of Bitcoin is $62,858. We'll get to the block height here in a second and shout out our good friend, Zach Copley in Northern California. We're broadcasting live or recording live, broadcasted later. From the upstate of South Carolina, I'm here in studio with PJ, married man. How's married life?
It's good, man.
Knocked it out of the park.
You nailed it.
Married.
Nailed the wedding. Haven't gotten divorced yet, so that's
Still
great.
Married. Yeah.
It's mostly nice though because it's a bull market, as you can see with Bitcoin.
Oh yeah,
We're in a bull market.
all I know is I was gone
Yeah.
for like 3 weeks
Yep.
and Bitcoin stayed the same.
No, it definitely went up, didn't it?
Nah, I left. It was like 61.8. I think it went up and then it came back down.
I think maybe it went down while you were gone.
Oh, and then
And
came
then
up.
so it
Yeah.
feels like it was up, but to
Yeah.
you,
So it's kind of like a galloping bull.
yeah.
It's going down. and up.
It was sad while you were away. It missed
Yeah.
you. That's what it was.
Yeah, that's what it was. But I hadn't really read much about Bitcoin lately.
Well, the main thing you need to read about Bitcoin
Is that Trump doesn't know what it is?
He loves it. He doesn't
Yeah,
know what
but
it
he
is,
doesn't know
but
what
he
it is. That's
loves
why
it.
Barron
He
exists.
thinks it's
Yeah,
fantastic.
my son loves it. He's really smart. All my sons are smart.
Dude, he's so tall.
Yeah.
But
I mean, that's half the battle.
it is. I mean, the main thing though is that Jerome Powell, the chair of the Federal Reserve,
My buddy.
he's cranking down interest rates. He's pulling the brakes. Or actually, no, it'd be more like stomping the gas.
Yeah.
In that analogy.
Hitting the throttle.
He's hitting the throttle.
Yeah.
And so it's the yellow light. And instead of slowing down, he's like, no, I'm just going to bust
go.
through
It's
this
pink.
light.
It's a pink
It's
light.
a pink light.
Yeah.
And so they lower the interest rates. Money's coming back. China just did it too. So I think it's game on, man.
Okay. I saw Big Pompliano was on like a bunch of news places this morning.
Yeah,
Like whenever there's optimism for Bitcoin, he's on the news.
he just shows up. It's sort of like Beetlejuice. He said
Yeah.
it 3 times. He
Here
just
I am.
appears.
Yeah.
He was in this like burger joint in New York City where some
Ooh,
crypto
what was the
company
name of the burger joint?
couldn't tell you.
Okay.
I was distracted.
Probably more interested in the Bitcoin.
Well, there's a lot I was interested in.
Yeah.
And so some Bitcoin company that like is offering like payments, you could like buy your burger with Bitcoin basically,
nice.
right? And stuff like that. And they got Trump to come to this event in this like little burger joint. It kind of looks like Jack Brown's. Like it's like a
Nice.
little joint. And he walks in, he like buys the burger. He's like, it's a crypto burger. And then all the guys are like, no, it's a Bitcoin burger. He's like, that's what I said, a crypto burger.
Same.
They're like, okay, whatever. And it's funny just because Pomp is sitting right behind him.
Oh, behind Trump.
Behind him,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
and behind Trump, like against the wall, right?
Yeah.
Just like sitting there. And then there was a picture circulating online, and everybody was like, Pomp looking like he's in the Secret Service, not knowing what he's doing.
Yeah.
And
I didn't see that.
and then the only comment I talked to Pomp briefly about, dude, how was that, right? Like
Yeah.
you see him walking in, he's like, dude, I don't know, the event went fine, but all I'll say is this: that was the first time I've ever seen Trump like in person.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't care what you say about him. That dude has swag off the charts.
Oh yeah. Big
like,
dude.
he walked in, it's like immediately he's like just the entertainer.
Yeah.
Everyone loves him. I was like, dude, there's some, the kids say aura now. Like you have an aura,
Aura.
like an aura.
Oh, aura.
Aura. I don't know
Aura.
how do you pronounce it? What's the South
Aura.
Carolina?
Well, I don't know. What are the kids saying? How are they pronouncing it?
I actually have no, I just read it on Twitter.
The Marines taught me something this up, and then I'll get back to the crypto burger. Well, we try not to use profanity on here, but type SHIT.
Oh, okay.
Have you heard that one?
It's like, oh,
That's type.
that's that crypto type
Yeah.
stuff.
Over and over. Type shit.
Oh,
Type-
really?
Yeah. And I'm like, what? Like typing? Like a typewriter?
Like, what are you typing?
Like, I don't understand it. They're like, no, sir, just say it. And I'm like, okay.
The other Gen Z word now is demure. Have you seen that one?
Is that like
circulating
Aura,
around?
but demure?
Yeah, like basically.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not really too far into this world. It's like Gen Z girl TikTok will say like, oh, like we don't do that. Like that's not demure. Like to dress like that or to say those things.
So you don't want to be demure.
You know, you do want to be demure. Like it means like,
wait, what's the pronunciation?
I think it's demure.
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 Is this like the same TikTok girls that are doing, whatchamacallit, the sorority TikToks of like,
oh, probably, dude.
Okay.
Yeah, probably.
Demure.
Yeah.
Demure.
I think it means like proper and like sophisticated and like.
So like bougie.
A little bit like bougie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Demure.
Yeah.
Demure.
Now you know.
That's not demure.
It's not. Like if someone's acting up.
Crypto burger, though, like I said, Bitcoin burger has a cool ring to it, but crypto burger is like cheeseburger.
Yeah.
Same initials.
CB.
So it's kind of better.
It is better.
Yeah, it's kind of better.
I don't know how it tastes, but we'll see.
Speaking of bad burgers, so yesterday, and then we got to talk a little bit about the weather because that was wild.
Oh.
But yesterday, because all the guys wanted to record a different night of the podcast except me, I told D, I was like, let's ride up into the hills.
Oh, you rode up
yeah,
last
there's
night?
a place we like to eat. Well, not last night. We left at like 3 p.m., 3:30.
Okay.
Rode up like 1 hour to Brevard.
Okay.
And I fished for like 30 minutes because I was like, hey, would love to like cast.
I didn't know that was even possible.
Yeah. I was like, I'd love to fish for 5 hours, but like, I want you to come. We can hang out as we drive up in the truck. Like, I'll just fish for a minute. So I literally just like fished for a minute. I did not catch anything, but it was still like fun to go. And then went to a place to eat. So we go there to eat, and we've been there one time before. And she likes this like limeade they have on tap.
Okay.
And they have their burgers. So we go up, and it's like raining. So it's a food truck, and so we're standing underneath like a little pop up tent. And I look, and I see one of the burgers, and it has ghost cheese, jalapenos.
Oh boy.
And I'm like, oh, my jam.
Yeah.
So I'm like, and you're gonna know as soon as I say the name of the burger, but I'm like, I want the spicy garden burger. And the guy's like, done. I'm like, but I want 2 patties. He's like, no problem. And then Diana gets these like corn dog bites, and we get French fries. And I haven't eaten all day, so I'm pretty hungry. It's like 6:30 by the time we get our food. We go to get it and I pull it out, and I'm like, man, I unwrap it. I'm like, this thing looks great. And I go to bite it, and I'm like, something's wrong. And they were veggie patties.
Oh.
And so I'm like, oh no.
That's
and it was like a
scenario.
place where it was like the burger was like $12 and the second patty was like an additional $6, right? It was kind of like ridiculous.
Robbery.
So I went up and I was like, I've made a terrible mistake. And the guy's like, what's up? And I was like, I'm looking at the menu. It's my fault. I saw like ghost pepper cheese and jalapenos. He goes, I thought there's no way this dude in the Marine hat wants a veggie burger.
Right.
And I was like, or 2 patties of them.
Yeah.
And he's like, I got you, bro. And I was like, I'm happy to pay. It was my mistake. He's like, it's on
that
me.
was cool.
He's
I
like,
thought
it's
you
on
were
me. He's
screwed.
like, he goes, I wouldn't eat that. And I was like, yeah, like I'm not going to eat it. I was like, I feel bad. I'm just going to throw it away. He's like, no, I wouldn't eat that.
Yeah,
he's like,
yeah,
it's like fake. And I was like, okay. So then I had the other burger, but then I ate all D's fries while I was waiting on the burger because I was so hungry. So then I like only ate the patties, but anyway.
Oh, there you go. Dude, I think that in like 10 years time, that all of the fake meat is going to be seen as like a health crisis. Like something's going to go wrong with that. I just don't think we've seen it yet. It just feels like you're pushing Mother Nature's knobs too much. You're just tweaking it. You're getting too far.
Yeah. I mean, we do that with gender too, but,
yeah,
no, but is a veggie burger as bad as a Beyond Burger? Because like, I don't think
specify. Yeah.
No. I don't think you should take vegetables and compress. I don't think you should take any food and imitate it to be another food.
I think that
like that's generally when there's an answer. Hey, I'm on the keto diet. Here's a keto candy bar.
Right.
Now I'm no longer keto.
Unless it's a candy apple. I like candy apples.
Yeah.
But
definitely not in keto with candy apples.
Not even close. But I think that veggie burger is not great for you, but not terrible.
It's not chemicals.
Yeah. It's just a lot of like hydrogenated fats and
seed
oils.
To
That's
hold
what
it together.
I think it's that. Bad. But I think the Beyond Burger, that scares me.
Or the Impossible Burger.
I think aren't those like the same idea?
I just never understood the Impossible name. Is it like,
I'm looking at it. Isn't it possible?
Yeah, it's possible.
It's clearly possible.
It's probably not intelligent.
Yeah, it's possible. Impossible to digest, maybe.
Anyway, burgers, crypto burgers, Bitcoin burgers, veggie burgers, Beyond Burgers. Yeah, that's the burger update.
Protein.
You gotta have it.
Been gaining weight again, which is good.
Nice.
I was like 180 when I got back from my honeymoon.
Okay.
I'm about 187.
Okay.
Right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really putting on the LBs.
So
what are you doing?
Working, eating.
Like, are you like intentionally trying to like super
Yeah.
eat, or were you just like, hey, I got to fit in my suit, I'm going to eat? Like, because there's kind of two different ways to gain weight.
So for me, if I go back to baseline, I'm skinny.
What, like, but you're
Like
165?
if I don't think about food,
Okay.
I'll be 175.
Okay.
If I like have no thought into what I eat
Yeah.
and I just eat like based on vibes,
175.
I'm 175.
Okay. That's kind of demure.
It is
Demure.
But yeah, I have to like try to like, I sit down, I eat, this is really good. I'm about to finish. I'm like, I need another plate.
Okay.
Like I just force myself to eat another plate. Later on, I'm like, I haven't done anything in a while. Like I'm going to drink a glass of whole milk.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what you've been doing.
Yeah.
Been thinking about it.
I've been actually thinking about
Okay.
it, which
So
is not very like I'm doing.
So it's not thinking about not gaining weight.
Whoa, that was a lot of knots.
Yeah. So sometimes people, like if I'm thinking about not gaining weight, I'll lose weight and I'll maintain.
Okay.
But then if I stop thinking
You'll
about
gain.
not gaining weight, I'll gain. But then I have another mode where I can think, hey, I want to gain weight.
Oh, see
what I'm saying?
I've really only experienced. So to me, it's just, is there effort involved in your diet or is there no effort involved?
Okay.
For me, I've never experienced the try to lose weight.
Yeah.
I've never done that in my life.
Yeah.
But if effort's required, it's because I'm trying to gain weight.
Trying to gain. Okay.
Yeah.
So the effort's being put in.
It's being put in. Been lifting consistently, eating a lot. Started taking creatine just for fun.
Nice. So it's all water weight then.
Oh, it's like fake. It's not even real
not
gain.
Even real. You didn't gain any weight. It's just
No,
water
it's
weight.
just 7 pounds of water, dude.
Just water weight.
I'm just puffy.
The storm.
Dude, that was Kate was freaking out.
Yeah. Well, so we eat the Beyond
Did you
Burger.
get stuck?
No. No, we never stopped. But we leave Brevard. We're coming down. You know, you go through like Crab Creek, Jeter Farms area. And my truck has a very illegal tent. Don't tell the South Carolina police. Shout out JR, put the tent on. Looks great, but like at night, very dark. And then if you're in an area with like no street lights and stuff, very, very dark. So we're going down the mountain roads, which are like 30 anyway. You know, we're listening to country music. It's good. And I'm kind of like, man, I can't see great. And this fog's like rolling in.
Mm-hmm.
And as the sun's setting, then it's dark. And then it's like drizzling, but just enough to like use the windshield wipers. And it's like, man, it's pretty dark out here. And then we get out by like Flat Rock and then we hit the 25. And right as we hit it, it is just like buckets.
Yeah.
Like just dumping buckets. And I'm like,
how far are you from home?
An hour. Well, at this point, probably 45 minutes. Yeah.
So,
it's like about
dude.
an hour and 15 to Brevard.
Okay.
So like we'd been driving like 30 minutes. We got through like the super windy, like we're on a 4-lane highway now.
Yeah.
But not an interstate. And I'm talking, it's like my 97 Chevy, it's turned all the way up. They're like,
Yep.
And it's like, are low beams better or high beams better? And it's like, well, if a car's coming at me, high beams are better because like the way it reflects. But if there's no car, low beams are better, but I can only see 5 feet ahead of me. And then I'm like looking at my review and everyone, like I have my hazards on, everyone has their hazards on.
Right.
And I kind of want to pull over, but I can't actually see what's over there.
Damn,
and then I'm like,
dude.
if I pull over, I'm more worried I'm going to get hit then.
Yeah.
Whereas like if I just go 10, like
Yeah.
people can like see me moving. Whereas if I'm on the side. And so it was probably 15 minutes of that, maybe 20, but which feels like
that's a long time.
especially when you're going 10 to 15 miles an hour.
That's a
long time. And then it finally lets up and then we go through like Berea and all those towns. Big upstate geography guy. You're getting a lot of names right now thrown at you. Guy. But then we hit downtown and like all the traffic lights are out. There's huge tree limbs in the road.
Yeah.
Like there's the lights on the power lines or on the, lines, the traffic lights are like to the side.
Yep.
It's everything's a 4-way stop. You're in South Carolina where people don't know how to drive.
Nope.
So it's like chaos. Get all the way through. I drop D off at the front door. I go to park the truck. Like there's a construction site down by the bottom of my house. Every orange cone's like flipped over.
No
Everything's
way.
washed out. I'm like, this is nuts. And I'm like, is this the hurricane? Because we got Helena headed towards us tomorrow, Thursday. And then like I get on the news, I'm like, nope, this is just a storm.
Just a storm.
This is just a storm.
In South Carolina, they just call it a storm.
And then this morning I went to the gym at like 7:30. And you know when you pull into so you're on what is that? Easley Road. You're on the 25 and you make a left to go up into Judson Mills, into the complex. And then you come up to a stop sign and there's like a little road that goes to the right. There's a road straight. Then you make a left into the warehouse complex.
Yep.
So that road dead ahead, there's a gigantic tree just fallen on the house. Oh. And you can't even go through.
On the house?
On the house. And like I'm talking gigantic tree. Like, you can't go, and I can see like flashing lights on the other side, and I can hear chainsaws. This is like 8 a.m. And then like Giorgio's tree fell on top of Carolina Ale House.
Yeah.
It's still there. Yeah. I mean, it's not like terrible, but it's like a probably 30-foot limb. And I was just thinking like, man, we went through a decent amount of storms last year, and I didn't see anything like this.
No, that was a damaging storm. I mean, luckily our power didn't go out. It flickered a couple times.
Yeah.
But
so like my office went out.
Okay. Yeah. Oh wow. We were close then.
Yeah. I mean, that's
a deck of backup grid or something like that.
0.2. Yeah. Well, it's my helium that I'm trading.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's the People's Network. Have to keep it on for the People's Network.
Yeah.
But yeah. Quite the storm. So now we got Helena coming in tomorrow. I was just talking to Tanner from Massonomics. Those guys are coming to the Carolinas, mostly North Carolina. I think they're in Columbia Saturday, and they're like, "Hey, we want to come by." And I was like, "That'd be great." But I was like, "Man, you're gonna have a tough time transiting these states."
Yeah.
Just because it's gonna. I mean, I think we're supposed to get 12 inches of rain.
When is that?
Tomorrow to Saturday.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's gonna slam like the west side of Florida, and it is turning. Like if you looked yesterday, it was going to like make a beeline for Greenville and be a tropical storm.
I didn't even know a hurricane was coming. I'm so out of the loop.
You're so into the Bitcoin loop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Block height is 862-881.
That's why you stay. Why you stay prepared with your supplies, so you don't have to get ready.
That's why you have guns. That's why you have ammo, cats, your own children, cars. You need both electric and gasoline. You never know what the future is going to give you.
Yeah.
You need all that stuff.
Here's the big thing that a lot of people don't have: water. I mean, it's crazy. You talk to people. Do you have like 3 days of water you could live off of?
Do I?
No, I'm just saying. Like you ask people that. Like a surprising number of people don't.
Yeah.
I don't like keep a ton, but like I just keep like some water around or whatever.
A couple gallons.
Yeah, a couple gallons, and then you just never know.
5-gallon jug.
But it's like, hey, this is kind of like number one. Is there water?
Yeah. Waters.
And then, growing up in South Carolina, as soon as the storm hits or hurricane hits, grocery stores are a crapshoot. Everything's closed. Or it's like you have to fight a mob.
That's why you live on a well. It's the way to do it.
The well's nice.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're all right, man. I didn't know you got caught in that. That's nuts.
I mean, it wasn't like that bad.
I mean,
but it like for driving in a storm.
Real situation,
yeah.
Though.
I mean, I think the only time I've been driving in a storm worse was like, probably 2 convoys, one in Trinidad Palms, one in Afghanistan. That was a sandstorm, but it was like,
a sandstorm.
I have no idea where I am.
I've never experienced that.
I don't know what left is. I don't know what right is. I don't know what up is.
You just can't see.
You just have to stop everything. Like you can't see, can't see a single thing. At least with the rain, and with low beams, you can see, you could see 6 feet ahead of you.
Yeah.
Right. And that's about it. But you could see, and I can see white lines. If I had been on the mountain road, I would have stopped.
Yeah.
I'd be like, all right, park it, whatever. I've never been in a terrible blizzard. But one time in Wisconsin, I was in a similar rainstorm and I was just like, wow. And the weird thing about that was it was the middle of the day and all of a sudden this black cover came over.
Yeah.
And it was like, why is it nighttime?
Yeah.
And then I realized this is Canada.
Oh yeah.
It was Wisconsin, but
basically Canada.
Same thing. Yeah. And I'm like, this is what happens in Canada. This is why I live in America.
I mean, I've been in snowstorms where a 30-minute drive turns into a 2-hour drive.
Yeah.
Because again, you can't see anything. And then it's like I was on the highway and everyone's just fishtailing. It's like your ice.
Black ice.
And everyone's going 10 miles an hour and still sliding everybody. It was the lanes didn't exist anymore. This was, imagine a crowd of people walking down a sidewalk like that structure. But the highway. It was just the cars were just I don't know, man, just figure it out and be cool because you couldn't stay in the lane.
And that's why it's almost worse to stop. You're just going to get hit.
Dude, that's actually surprisingly dangerous, I see.
I think stopping's, I mean, it's like Dad says when you're driving. If you see a deer, speed up. Like everyone slams on the brake to miss the deer, and then they crash their car, and the deer lives.
Yeah, man.
Eat that deer. Eat that deer.
Yeah, you avoid a wreck or at least get lunch.
Yeah. All right. Should we get these guys on here?
Let's do it.
All right.
Razor Cowboy.
Welcome back to episode 039er, Marine Corps numbers, 9er of the
Okay.
Guidons. Okay. Podcast powered by Sturgill and sponsored by BW Tax. I feel like Trey intentionally sabotages it.
No.
Like he sees our mouth
That's
start
not
to
true.
open.
No,
That was
Trey
never.
would never.
He's like, late shot, splash.
Never.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
Anyway, it's September 25th. Been a while since we've all been together, but here we are.
We're
I
here.
forgot how to do this.
It's like we never left.
Pretty easy. Talk about college football, amateur lifting update, ask Jordy how married life is, and we just let the major on the slide deck.
That's right. That's what we do best.
So let's get a roll call. Trey from Texas.
Still here, man. Yeah.
All right, we got PJ from Greenville.
What do I say?
You just say like here.
President accounted for.
You just say here. Let's see. We got the Brogies in Greenville here. All right, over to you, Major Biggie.
All
Take it away.
right. Thanks, sir. Thanks for getting this meeting off to a good start. We're going to skip first slide was supposed to be amateur lifting update. I see that the slides didn't get updated in Teams. Must have been some sort of glitch. We're going to go ahead. We're going to push. All right, we good pushing? All right, we're going to push. Okay, next slide's going to be, let's get the amateur marriage update from PJ.
Yeah.
Push.
All right, we're pushing. We're pushing.
You are still married, right?
Wait, whoa, yeah, whoa.
Nah, it was a joke. Yeah, still married, still going good, still going strong.
Love it.
Have you had your first big fight yet?
No, I don't think so. Just
Wow.
yeah, that's all right.
Okay.
You know what they say? If you need lifting advice, call Grant. If you need fishing advice, call Trey. If you need 180 degrees south advice, call Jeff.
There you go.
If you need tax advice, call BW. And if you need marriage advice, call PJ.
Yeah, that's true.
No.
That's what I've always said.
That's right. Expert.
That's his bread
Real
and
quick
butter.
It's my bread and butter.
Before we go down these slide decks, and I'm sure we'll talk about my AT a little bit longer, but our AT is in support of Joint Special Operations Command. And so it's like a lot of money, a lot of like dev gurus there, you know, a lot of SEAL teams, Green Berets are there, the Green Mountain Boys, which by the way, like coolest call sign ever. Where the Green Mountain Boys are. Just a bunch of guys, the Cavs there. We got, you know, the 53s, we got the F-35s, we got the F-18s, everyone. So we have the mass in brief. And so you have like just dollars on top of tax dollars, just like sitting in the room. And like, if you're a surface to surface guy that like wears his uniform and doesn't have a beard, you walk in and everyone looks at you like, who are the Marines?
Good thing
What are
you
you
mustache.
guys admin? What do you do?
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, we go in there, and like the lieutenant colonel to open the exercise like goes up front, and it's not an auditorium, it's a hangar with probably 200 chairs, every seat's taken, and 75 people, you know, like lining out the back. You know, there's just all you smell is dip spit, Zen, and Monster energy drinks. And the operators are like super operator, right? Like just like every hat, like their pants, like they have so many pockets. I was like, I wanted to hire them to be movers for me. Like, hey, can you guys just come all over and I'll just load your cargo pockets? But anyway, the room's just like filled with that. And Lieutenant Colonel goes up, Marine type, JTech type. And he's like, all right, yeah, put up the first slide. Well, they do a roll call. Then they're, you know, Green Mountain Boys, here, you know, these people, here. And then he's like, all right, put the slides up. And it's two like 18-inch TVs behind him. And you can see nothing. And it's the agenda. And he's like, hey, I know some of y'all probably can't see that in the back. I'm like, in the back? Like, I couldn't see it on the front row with binos. And then like every Marine Corps element to the brief was like the same thing. Like, oh, we were going to do weather next, but the slides weren't updated. And I'm like, how is this real? And it's definitely real. And then like the third guy gets up there and he's like, hey, you know, I'm Don. He's a civilian. He's like, I work with base logistics. Let me tell you guys, we're in the state of New York. And in New York, they care about trash. MRE heaters better be separated. Now, when you're in the jock, which I called the J-cock because they spelled it out in the slides, JCOC, but it's supposed to be JOC, but I just said J-cock to everyone. That's a story for later. But anyway, so he's like, if you're in the J-cock, there's no spitters. You're not allowed to have spitters. If you want to dip, you go outside. Like trash. And I'm just like, are we really talking about like adult professional military personnel, like managing their trash? He's like, now look, I know you all didn't think you were going to sit here and talk about trash, but I had to cover the trash. And he goes over some stuff. He's like, that's the last you'll hear about trash. Next guy gets up. Trash. Every single person briefed the trash. I left the in brief and I went and looked at my battery and I was like, hey guys, I think you actually have to take the MRE heaters out of the MRE trash.
The main effort is sorting the trash.
We're so
one
ready.
round. We are going to separate those MRE heaters. All right.
Yeah.
We're so ready for war.
The opening guy, when he got to like supporting elements, he's like, I just want to make it very clear. It's all about the teams. It's all about the teams. It's all about the JTAC teams. And it's all about them hitting their medals. It's all about the teams. And so we were all like joking, like, it's all about the teams, all about the teams. Then we came out of the brief. I was like, actually, it's all about the trash. Like, it's all about the trash. And
I need to update that slide.
all right. All
Did
right,
you
next slide.
did you get DevGru to? Is Strength Code the official sponsor of DevGru?
Oh, yeah.
They definitely saw some stuff. You know, if you're an officer, you do less cool things. You like go into the JCOC in the morning and you're like, hey, guys, you should use artillery. And then they're like, oh, hell yeah, brother.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, I got some 6-1s. And so then like your Lance Corporal 6-1s get to go like on a raid with SEAL Team 4. And like, I'm in the pause like, man, I hope we're hot with range control right now. But no, they did get to integrate. We did some British SAS stuff,
That's awesome.
did a lot of JTAC stuff. I think we had like 12 to 14 Marines. I mean, I was putting motor T guys out with the teams. Like anytime a team was like, hey, we'll take a couple guys.
Love that.
Was sifting guys through, talked the 53s into coming and picking us up and doing a little bus ride, like made a little tactical scenario with it, which was cool. And the mortars were there with the 10th Ranger Regiment or 75th Ranger Regiment.
75th.
Both were there. I can't remember what. Yeah, 75th. And so we sent some guys over there, you know, dropping 120s and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was cool. It was different. It was like almost like a TACP shoot. Like there wasn't.
Yeah.
I'm used to like boom, shoot. Okay, everyone's comfortable. CSMO, march order, next spot, set up. And this was like we didn't move. But we
That's kind
shot.
of lame.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you couldn't because the Army had to handle all your ammo due to base restrictions in the state of New York.
Picking up all your
And-
trash. Yeah.
Yeah, we weren't picking up.
Well,
the
that's good
trash.
that you got to focus on the trash. They were focused on the ammo. You were focused on the trash.
Hey, some people say
well-
good training. I say good trash.
Good trash.
DevGru powered by the Strength Code. I like it.
Here we go.
That's what they say.
Love that. Love that.
Anyway, next slide.
Yeah, sounds like a very successful AT.
Oh,
I mean, there's a lot that's in here. Do we want to dive into
lot of
college
stuff.
football? There's a lot of college football we can talk about.
Okay, I'm going to take us on an appropriate segue
Okay.
Go
because
for it.
I thought about Trey a ton. Trey said during week 1, whatever podcast that was when we recapped week 1 that aired during week 3, you said Auburn won, what was it, 63-3? Is that what Auburn's first game?
Oh, like
Didn't they win?
70s.
Oh, yeah.
Was that
73-3,
yeah.
whatever it was.
Yeah.
And Trey said on the podcast, man, and you're like, I don't know, the receiver core, this, that. And he goes, man, 73 points, that's tough to do against tall grass.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I thought it was funny because I'm like, God, that's such a Texas comment.
Yeah.
But then like you guys were going back and forth. I didn't touch it. And then we get to our pause and the grass was like 6 feet tall. Like I'm not kidding. And full of ruts. And like tall grass kicked our ass.
Yeah.
Like
You ain't
like-
scored 73
like,
points on that.
At night, it's
Oh,
like
Lord.
you're like short little section chiefs. Like you can't see their heads. Like it was like unbelievable how high the grass was for the terrain. And all I thought about, like every time I'd see like a Marine fall, he's like carrying an artillery shell or another truck gets stuck. I'm like, hey, man, that's tough to do against tall grass right there. That tall grass will come out and get you.
That's all China's got to do. Just stop cutting the grass and we'll be used to defeat us.
They just drop grass seed from planes.
Oh, no.
Over the area.
That tall grass.
It's a miracle grow.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God.
All right. That's a segue to college football.
I mean,
Tweet.
should
Are we talking about
address
Auburn's-
Auburn then?
should we let's address Auburn, man.
Yeah, I just missed my season prediction by a little bit. Just by one win. I think they're going to win out here on. So
Oh, yeah.
I was just off by one.
I think they're a top 5 like offense as far as like yards per game. Like
Yeah.
they're like if they could not turn the ball over, they'd be a really good
Be
team.
real nice.
But
Who was
I don't
their
know.
last
At least
game
just cut
against?
the
Was it
turnovers in
Arkansas?
half.
Arkansas.
Yeah.
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 Just like, quit turning I think you had what, 5 turnovers, 6 turnovers?
Yeah. It was bad. Yeah, it was.
Oh, it was terrible. And then my fear
correct.
was Hugh Freeze
Dude.
blaming everybody else.
Yeah.
For the loss. He's like, well, if we had a quarterback, we'd probably win.
I like those tactics. Those are Steve Spurrier tactics right there.
Just blame everybody else.
Just play. I mean, we can't tackle. How could we win?
Oh, gosh.
Yeah,
who do you-
It's going to be rough.
a good
It's gonna be
look.
rough. I think
So
they
you're 2-1.
2-2.
2-2.
Yeah.
With
Lost
OU
to
coming
Cal,
to town this weekend.
Lost to Arkansas.
Okay.
And OU's coming this weekend, right?
Yeah.
And you won against tall grass and against.
Yeah. Did defeat tall grass. So you got questions on how to defeat tall grass, call Auburn.
Called.
It's tougher than it sounds.
That's because the eagle just soars right
Dude,
over
so
it.
flies right over.
War eagle.
Or Eagle Tiger.
Or damn eagle.
Yeah, wait, who's the other win?
Who they beat? It was like a nobody team. It was like they.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. God, who was it?
No, the
Louisiana
little cupcake.
Monroe.
Yeah. Somebody like that.
It was short grass.
It was sure. It was.
Should be, I don't know. Should be interesting
We'll see.
with OU coming to town.
Yeah, that's going to
So.
be real.
OU has good defense,
Yeah.
but their offense ain't great. So
Well, our defense
And
is
then
great. Our defense is not great.
South Carolina being
Ooh.
3-1.
South
I
Carolina.
didn't have that on my. Should be 4-0. I didn't have that on my bingo card.
Yeah. I hate to just sound like a Garnet Glasses guy, but should be 4-0,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And as I've talked to people about that, and I'm glad to get validated by like people that don't care about the team, but care about sports. Like Portnoy had like a riff on it. And I'm like, you don't care anything about the Gamecocks and because it's like, hey, that's 21 points you took. And it's like, I'd agree that 14 of them were ours. 7 were questionable. I definitely say that one of them was, a
six.
terrible call. But I mean, I think my takeaway, going into the season, I definitely thought I didn't think we were going to be good, and they definitely have issues. I mean, I think the quarterback doesn't get injured, and then the refs can't steal that game.
100%.
Right?
100%.
If Sellers is playing like the refs can't steal it with
Yeah.
the backup quarterback, they can steal it. They did steal it, but either way, I'm like, okay, if this defense can play like this, I'm not saying that they go in as favors to any of these SEC games, but they can definitely play in these games.
Oh, 100%.
And like you sprinkle in a little beamer ball and like, oh, there's like a possibility that you come out with some big ones. So yeah, that was good. The LSU one was disappointing. Last week was good, and then bye week, and then Ole Miss. So Ole Miss will be
It's gonna be-
Is it
that'll be
Ole
the
Miss at
teller.
home?
Yeah, at home.
That should be.
Yeah.
Should be a good game. I don't know.
Yeah.
With A&M, it's like all the games I thought were going to be easy are looking to be more difficult, and all the tough games. I'm like with LSU. Like LSU doesn't look great.
They look very beatable.
Thanks. Makes me feel
Yeah,
great about
100%.
South
But then like,
Carolina.
But
but then A&M goes to South Carolina. I was like, oh no, it
Yeah,
doesn't
you're
look
like,
great.
not
Yeah.
an easy place to go in right now. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd say my updated is I think I said 6 wins, 5 or 6. I still think it's
I think you bumped that
8 max. I think it's 8.
up. Okay. I like
You
that.
I
know,
could see that.
probably 7, but I think they'll play in a bowl. You know, so I think it's 8. I think it's 8 wins. I think it's definitely some of these teams. I'm like, okay, like Texas A&M, I would have gone in and been like loss. And I mean, we'll know a few weeks from now, but now I'm just like, okay, if South Carolina brings their best and they're healthy, and like Texas A&M makes some gaffes, like that's a very winnable game. Whereas before I would have been like, oh yeah, but like that's a loss. So I don't know. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
It should be. Yeah. A&M is Arkansas this weekend, so
Yeah.
That quarterback's good for
that's gonna be tough.
Arkansas. That guy's good. He's legit.
Is Butler 2-2 or?
Well, it looks like 2-1, but I don't even know how that's
You're like,
possible.
what? How?
Hey, that's a win though.
That's a win.
Yeah. Hey, we're up.
Yeah.
Butler Bulldogs over here. You know,
We're up. Citadel's 2-2.
All right.
So
all right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Bulldogs.
2 more games
ball.
last year.
Yeah, 2 more wins than last year. Yeah.
Love it. Love it.
But I'm trying to
Alabama,
think what's-
Georgia, hot takes.
Yeah. So
Ooh, I'm pumped.
I think it's gonna be good. I have Georgia winning it personally.
Mm,
So I'm excited for where I'm gonna go watch it. It's
tell.
yeehaw.
so I got tickets to this place called COSM, COSM.
Oh, the big
you seen-
screens.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
Someone posted
It's
about
like
that on
a-
Slack.
It's
On
like
all
this
the
sphere.
Slack channel.
It might have been me, but it's
No.
like the sphere light, like
Yeah.
that one in Vegas. But so it's like a big dome looking screen. I
Dude,
don't know.
looks sweet.
So they start selling tickets to like sporting events, and
That's cool.
I'm like,
So
oh,
shout out Michael Buckley, owner of Ventura Meat Company in Ventura, California, weightlifter. If you're in the area and you need good meat, it's your local butcher. Go see him.
not a euphemism.
Great guy.
Yeah, delicious meat.
Big volunteer fans, and he posted him at the COSM. Is that how you say
Maybe-
it? COSM?
Okay.
Yeah,
In
posted the one
LA. And
Okay.
I thought he was in the end zone
Dude.
at Neyland Stadium and that the TVs were up. And I said to him when I saw him on our Zoom training this week, I said, man, when you posted that before I saw the conversation that happened after it, I thought you went to the game.
Dude,
And I was
right?
like, good on you making the trek. And I was like, I don't know if you suck at filming, so you can't like show me that this is fake or if it's that real. I was like, but it's one of those two things. And but no, it looks super cool.
Wait,
Yeah,
so it's
man.
not. You're not there. Like they're
No.
not playing in front of you.
It's like, have you seen the
I'm looking at like
It's almost like a
pictures.
270 degree dome or like kind
That's
of like
probably a
curved
good way to
screen.
put it.
Yeah,
That was very.
that's
precise.
why Jeff's here.
I have a very analogous thing, but no one will get. It's a supporting arms virtual trainer on Camp Pendleton. It has like a similar like
oh, yeah.
Oh.
like
yeah.
kind of like wrap around
Yeah.
screen
Well,
that's
see-
like 270
Yeah.
degrees.
See-
So I was like, oh, I know about
Yeah.
how
I
how
am
much
not
of
a
the
J-Tag.
circle
Sorry,
is
I'm
covers.
not a J. I'm not a JTAC, so sorry. I didn't.
Yeah.
I was a familiar, but
They had some similar for Lagos, so
it looks pretty legit.
So, Jordy, would you say it's Demore?
Yeah, it's
Ooh.
very demure. Yeah, demure. Have you heard this word
Demure.
lately?
I've seen
No.
some things pop
It's
up. I
an-
don't know what it like the origin of
I don't
this
know what it
is,
means.
but
Oh, I don't really even know what it means. I just keep seeing it pop up. It's like a new Gen Z word.
use it in
Yeah.
a sentence.
What's
Well, it's Gen Z, so they only use 2 words in a sentence.
Like,
what's a college football team you don't like?
Texas.
Clemson.
Clemson.
Okay, Clemson. Like, they're walking by, you're like, not demure. Like, it's like a bad thing. Demure is like elevated, sophisticated, like kind of bougie. Like, it's a good thing. Yeah. That play
Feels
was not
so
demure.
old. God.
Smallmouth bass,
Yeah.
not very demure.
Yeah, demure.
but it's like not like a slang
put-
word. It's like an actual word that like somehow they've latched
Oh,
on
it's
to
a
a
real
real
word.
word.
It's like
So someone
it's
just
like a
picked up
real
onto it.
old
It's like a
word that they
vocab
just
word,
started-
you know, like you were in like 4th
It's
grade learning
SAT word.
vocab.
Yeah.
Not that I learned
Good-
demure
good
in
on
4th
'em.
grade, but
Yeah.
Dictionary going
They
viral.
learned it in Common Core math.
Maybe.
Yeah.
that's how you do
Speaking of
division.
which, speaking of which, Jeff, on pronunciating things correctly. So pronouncing. There you go. Yeah. See, again, this is going to further my point. My XO's like awesome, Captain Mitchell, and real dry sense of humor. And I'd be like, hey, where's Pinocchio? And he'd be like, who? And I'm like, like Pinocchio, like the first lieutenant, blah, blah. He's like, do you think he lies? I'm like, no. Well, like, he's like, Papaccio? I'm like, yeah, that one.
guy.
And I'm like, where's, I'm like,
Do you think he lies?
I'm like, where's Matuzik? He's like, Mathuzik? I'm like, hey, that major that came by from this unit. What was that? What was his name? Tim Driscoll? He's like, Tim O'Brien? And he thought I was like messing with him. And then like 10 days into the op, he's like,
Oh,
this is like the weirdest name dyslexia I've ever encountered. I was like, yeah, you'll get used to it. He's like, no, you get like 6 of 9 letters right, but it's completely wrong. And I was like, yeah, it's just kind of how I talk about
You
stuff.
still don't
So,
know my last name.
he'll
so.
figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the third.
The third. You know what? Hey, that's what an XO is supposed to do, man.
Yeah,
That's right.
Figure it
Yeah.
out, XO. Figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Squared away.
Oh,
Good job
man.
pronouncing words.
Yeah. Good
So
job,
yeah,
Lieutenant
no.
Pinocchio.
So I think Georgia Bama's gonna be fun, man. It's gonna be a good game.
Oh,
Who's
that's
winning?
right. We're talking about that.
Georgia. I think Georgia.
Georgia?
They're
Jeff?
both coming off buys, but I don't know. I think Georgia, especially after that Kentucky loss. I think
Didn't
they're
Georgia
gonna
just play Kentucky?
Or no,
Last
the
week.
Kentucky
Scare.
close win.
That was a scare.
Yeah, but that was
Kentucky
last
scare.
week.
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
Was that 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I think they because they're both coming off a bye.
No,
And so I think
that was
with
last
that
week.
that
was the
Kentucky
si-
scare.
Oh, it was 2 weeks ago. Yep. That was LSU game. Sorry,
Yeah.
AT brain. Yep.
Man, I don't
That's
know.
all right, man.
I think. I feel like I think Alabama might win. I think they're gonna. I don't know. I don't know if Georgia.
Like, it
has the
wouldn't
weapons.
surprise me.
I don't. Yeah. Again, like it could go either way, and I'm not going to be like, oh, that's weird. But
Yeah.
real decisive.
I mean,
answer there.
Tides won 9 out of the last 10 against Georgia, with the only loss being that national championship.
Oof. But it's like,
I
but
think
Saban's
different
not
coach does.
there. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Milroe
I-
is putting it together. I think he's
Yeah.
legit.
that's the Washington guy.
That's the Alabama quarterback. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Isn't the coach like DeBro?
Oh yeah, DeBoer.
DeBoer, Milroy.
Yeah. I thought you were making like a
Amato.
James like Madison or some
Where's
sort of
your
like
XO, dude?
presidential like plug
No,
there
it's
with
dead
the
serious.
Washington guy, huh?
Yeah.
Get your XO in here.
Yeah,
Translate.
no, it's that serious. I did text my brother the night of that Kentucky game,
Dude.
and I was like, "Can you imagine
Dude.
if we didn't get robbed by LSU and Kentucky beats Georgia? Like how you're feeling 3-0
Dude.
heading into Akron?" But anyway, yeah.
Akron.
Is that also wrong?
Akron. It's the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go. Okay.
Oh,
Anyway.
shit, that's good. That's good. Dang, Pig,
Next
Pac
slide.
He's gotta be
12's
doing
getting
it on
back
purpose,
together.
you know?
What do we think
I
about
saw
that?
that.
Coming back from the
2
dead?
teams.
What?
Who's it? Boise State,
Boise, Utah State, I think, just like
Yeah.
said they were going to sign in.
SDSU.
Yeah, so it's like I don't know.
I
I
feel
feel
like there's
Pac-12.
one
You're
more.
like you're not like a Power 5 conference if they still use that term. Like these teams are not. I don't know, but I guess it's better than disappearing.
Dude, Boise's good, man.
Boise is good. That running back is good. Is it
Like
Bernard
they're-
or Leonard? I don't remember. Bernard's the Utah.
I can't
running
remember.
back.
SDSU's usually pretty salty. Like I don't know. Like I would still Pac-12 after dark, man. I'd still watch that.
Love it.
South
That's,
Dakota State University's going to the Pac-12. Is that what you're saying?
San Diego State.
Oh, sorry.
My bad. That was my fault.
The-
What's the other piece of news as far as college football goes was the
Couple, like-
UNLV quarterback. Do you see
That's
that?
kind of wild. I didn't know anything about that until you posted that. And I had to look it up.
Where he
What was
just
going
said,
on.
so the story behind it, what was it? Grant, did you hear about this?
Which one?
UNLV quarterback?
No. What
Just
happened to
quit.
him?
He just quit. He said
Oh.
he
They're
wasn't
3-0,
promised.
right?
He didn't. Yeah, and he was like, they were projected to make the playoffs. Like they were one of the teams, and he, I guess, was promised something as far as
I think it was
NIL goes,
like $100,000
didn't-
deal or something like that.
Didn't get it, and he goes, "Okay, I'm not going to play. I'm just going to redshirt and transfer."
Man.
And I like just these little
Hey, you
wrinkles
know what they
of
say,
NIL
don't-
coming out of nowhere.
Don't mess with Marines' chow or their pay. I always say the same thing for
do
college
it.
quarterbacks.
That's right, brother.
Don't mess with that chow and pay.
Yeah, there's some interesting little wrinkles coming out with NIL, and like, are more of these like lawsuits going to come out like Reggie Bush's? Like, I don't know the full details that they're going into, but like, he's like, well, hey, like NIL.
Reggie Bush is suing everybody. Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, well, NIL's a thing now, which is pretty much what y'all like,
Did to me.
docked me for when I was winning the Heisman, and you took my Heisman and all this stuff. And I don't know. I feel like there are a couple other people that were like suing about NIL.
Yeah,
like Braylon
a couple
Edwards, like
other...
a receiver from Michigan, was like in some lawsuit with some people. They're just like
P. Diddy was in a lawsuit.
P. Diddy was in.
I
don't know if it was the NIL lawsuit or something else, but
it's all the RICO stuff. Yeah,
yeah.
But it's just like slippery slope.
Yeah, man. Reggie Bush. So apparently, do you know how much he got whenever he got in trouble? Like how much he got, and it wasn't even from like the school; it was from like an agent.
Oh no.
If you guess,
$345,000.
No.
$340
less. It's a little bit more.
$1,000.
$100,000, which is like
it's a lot more than $340.
That is true.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like how much money did he? Like that dude, if he was playing today,
my gosh,
like how much money would he? How much money would he make?
Yeah,
it would be
Insane,
crazy.
So
yeah, but I don't know. Like, how far back do you go then? Like, to kind of, I don't know. I don't think you can recoup that like NIL money.
You can't be unburdened by what has been.
That is the truest thing that has ever been said.
I've always said that.
I've always said that.
I mean, you can't though.
It feels good to be unburdened.
No, we can't let ourselves be.
But like,
seriously, you can't. You can't. But seriously, you can't.
Yeah. Try. I dare you.
It's
I dare you
literally
try.
impossible.
Yeah.
He'll
always be burdened.
Oh, jeez.
What are those little plants? They're like little clay, like sculptures that you put seeds in.
Chia pet.
Chia pets. What do you call?
You win that round.
What do you call a chia pet for the Trojans running back? A reggae bush. I think that was the joke. Anyway, there's some joke, and it was a picture of Reggie Bush's face, but it was a chia pet, and it was like Bush. Yeah.
We'll get it in post.
Yeah.
We'll get it in post.
We'll get that joke out in post. Yeah.
I'm gonna try to Google that somehow.
I'll find it.
AI will fix it for us.
Yeah.
Jordy.
AI, fix it.
Yeah.
Complete.
All right. What else we got?
Yeah, college football. A lot of fun stuff, man. Great time of year.
Do you think Texas is for real? Do you think they're a number one team? Or do you think that's just a little bit of like people want them to be the number one team? They want them back. A little bit of Texas home cooking.
I think both things can be true. I think
true.
One, they have a really cush schedule.
Very true.
They open up against Mississippi State. They got Vanderbilt on the schedule. They do have Georgia, but I think they're also a really good team, unfortunately. So
I don't know. I always get like it's always tricky when like a team doesn't lose, but they're the number one team, but then they drop to number two, and you're like, well, Texas hasn't played anyone really yet, right? Or who they?
Nope.
No. Well, I guess Michigan, but I think Michigan's fake good. I don't think they're actually good.
I don't think they're that good. Yeah, I was surprised it'd be USC.
Me
so
too.
Yeah,
me too. But I also don't think USC's that good. So there's a lot of teams that actually don't think they're that good.
Texas is 4-0.
Missouri. Yeah, undefeated.
Yeah. Man, that's tough to do against tall grass.
And they.
I'm just saying.
Grant loves that.
I love it.
Dude, that's a great saying.
I love it. It harkens me back to episode 1 when my brother-in-law was like, Luke Casey's? That's what them rich boys from Dallas wear. And I'm like, yeah, when they walk through tall grass.
Those Lucchese's.
Yeah.
Hey, put that on the thumbnail, just grass.
Yeah, tall grass.
Just
tall grass is
on the
covering our
thumbnail.
faces.
Tough to do against tall grass.
Yeah, it's just like this. People would have to click. Like,
South Carolina, we just call that grass.
Yeah, just call it grass.
Yeah,
Up in New York, you just call that grass.
Of course,
Yeah.
of course.
But,
all right, next slide.
Next slide, indeed. Let's see, Trey. Looks like you spent some family time recently, or you were watching football. It's a little bit of a segue from college football, in that you had explained technology to your grandmother. Do you want to talk about that experience?
Yeah, man. So we went to go visit family out in Fort Stockton, Texas.
Ooh.
Pretty, not El Paso west, but pretty west.
It's out there.
Ooh, I like it.
So show up, and my grandmother's like, "Hey," and she doesn't have a smart TV, and she goes, "Hey, my cable company's going bankrupt, and I got a month
Say it
to
ain't so.
figure it." She loves football. Loves football.
Love it.
Whoa.
I love this.
Antique Roadshow and football. That's kind of like her jam.
That's
she
a
loves
good
those two things.
combo.
My dad
dude,
loves that
it's-
show.
Yeah,
What
we
more
have
do
a
you
great
need?
time. So I'm like, well, she's like, well, what can I do? I'm like, well, she just got internet like a year ago.
Nice.
And so she has Wi-Fi. I'm like, okay, let's.
She have Bitcoin?
go- No, not yet. That's
Not
next.
yet.
It's
Next
week.
There's
And
a
so-
bank. And
And so we went to. I went to Walmart. I got a smart TV, and I got her set up on YouTube TV.
okay.
And I've deleted. So YouTube TV, if you have it, like you pull it up and it has all the different apps that you can, or the smart TV has all the different apps that you can click, and you click on YouTube TV, go to it, whatnot. And so I deleted every other app. The only one on there is YouTube TV. Like that's
Nice.
fun. I'm like,
Smart.
just go
Smart.
there and
Simplify.
click that. Simplify.
So you kind of educated the TV.
Simple.
Smartened it up.
I
It was
kissed it.
dumb. You made it smart.
Yeah, exactly.
That's that old school Jeff joke. I don't know. if
Yeah,
you
that was
remember
good.
that. I was like, hey, I got a smart TV. He's like, oh, I guess mine's dumb then.
It's an old school Jeff joke.
It is.
You're not wrong.
Vintage Jeff.
So got the TV, YouTube TV set up, got rid of all the apps, and then we probably spent an hour just we're running drills. All right, turn it on. Scroll over here, and it was just like I would like show her how to do it and click on it, and then she would have the remote and she would trouble with it. And I just remember like every time I would start to be like, oh, come on, like you're almost here, you're so close. I'd be like, this woman grew up in the Great Depression.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
had no ideas. Like she's 94 years old, had no idea
Wow.
like what a TV was, and like I just like remind myself, I'm like, this woman went from like her.
Dude.
There's watches that you can take a phone call on now, and so like
Yeah.
it just blows her mind. So I called her today to check up on her. I go, hey, I'm like, because she loves Dallas Cowboys. I'm like, did you figure out the Dallas Cowboys? And she would, or did you watch the game? She's like, yeah. She's like, I figured it out. I'm like, I'm super proud of you. Like you did a great job.
Oh my
And then
gosh, I love this.
she goes, well, the Dallas Cowboys play on Thursday. And I'm like, yeah. She's like, can I watch it? And I was like, so it's on Amazon Prime. I'm like, I don't know if I want to cross that.
Oh,
Maybe. How open my
But technically they do play. Technically you could watch it. And so whenever she would ask a question, she's like, well, what's going on now? I'm like, do you want me to explain it to you, or do you just want to trust me on this? And
Yeah.
she's like, okay, I'll just trust you. So,
Was it that Apple TV remote or was it a?
it was a
normal
Roku.
remote?
We got a Roku TV. So
Okay, that's better.
and a reason, good potential
Yeah.
sponsor Roku. It's
Yeah.
like 4 buttons on
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah. Really
remote.
simple
So
remote.
fairly simple to navigate with. But
Smart.
Yeah.
I remember when my grandma got it. My grandma's got an iPhone now, and I remember she like had trouble like scrolling and clicking on an app. I didn't realize that there's like a touch to it. There's like
I mean, that's tough to do against tall grass.
it's tough to do against tall grass. Like she would like
we
she'd
need to have
like
a
click-
counter.
Yeah, dude.
A counter.
I'm like,
for
just
that.
press
Just
the
gets
app. I'm
taller every time he says it.
we should do that. But like every time she like press an app, she like press it and then it would like try to adjust the home screen or like click into something. I'm like, no, not that hard. Like don't you don't have to
Just like-
slam it.
just like
I'm like,
smashing
just
the
touch
screen.
it. And then she'd touch it, but it was too light. And I was like, I didn't even know this was a skill.
Yeah.
I
You
just-
know?
I don't know. You just got to remind yourself. I'm
Yeah.
like, these people grew up.
This is
They were
like
listening to radios. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were Demore.
Very.
It's in our educational episode.
So yeah, long she figured it out. So she found her TV, or she figured out her
Nice.
TV. So, but it was, that was a struggle, man.
God, I love that. I love it. Running drills. Like, all right, turn it on. Here we go.
Dude,
I love that.
Turn
She would
it
get
on.
So smart.
She would get it, and it would be on. I'm like, okay, turn it off, start all over.
Get back.
That's what I felt like.
Okay. I know we plug in the TV before we turn it
okay.
on.
Okay, I know I said scroll right, not down.
Well, it goes both ways. You're talking the older population. So I had the younger population in my FTC, and they didn't know how to run a coffee pot.
No,
And
my
so like
goodness.
over the first few drills, I taught them like the 5 requirements. And I was like, okay, we need 5 requirements for coffee. I'm like, number one, what do we need? And they're like, a coffee pot. And I'm like, well, I had to talk them onto this. They're like, yeah. I'm like, number two. They're like, power. I'm like, okay, what's next? And they're like, whoa. Water. Sir, we need water. Yes, we need water. What do we need next? Like, a filter.
Right.
And grounds. And like, I would drill them on it like every time. All right, give me the 5 requirements for coffee. And so they finally get down. The Marine has it. His last name's Trussell. I call him Trussell the Love Muscle, but he prefers to just be called Muscle. And like they finally get the coffee down and they break the pot.
Class.
Like you shatter it. And I'm like, what are you doing? So we went and bought another coffee pot. But after some Marine ingenuity, when you saw on the OK Podcast Instagram, they took the coffee grinds container and like dug a hole in it with a Leatherman and then duct taped the broken handle to it. And they're like, sir, it works. I'm like, it doesn't work. Like the coffee's cold.
You're like, it does, but we're not doing this.
Yeah, you're not doing this.
Good initiative, bad judgment.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know. I feel like being born in the 90s, we hit that sweet spot where you just kind of like
Jeff
you know how to
and
make coffee, but then you can also work an iPhone apparently.
Jeff and I wouldn't know,
Yeah, I don't know
but
about being
like,
born in the 90s.
yeah, I don't know about the
Working,
90s,
okay.
but,
Living through the 90s.
I was born in the 90s.
Yeah. I
I was-
qualify for that. Yes,
yeah, I get it.
You lived through the 90s. I was
Fair
born
fine,
in.
fair
I was 88. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
You guys were 88.
Them Clinton babies.
I barely. I just made it, but I do remember. I'm glad that I lived when internet was not popular. Like it was not a common thing.
Yeah.
You know, like you go to school, you get a book report assignment or some paper thing. You have to like do a little project, and they're like, okay, find the encyclopedia.
The library.
And you're like, okay, all right, like little Britannica, you know, and yes, I'm glad I at least saw that for a little while.
Were you young enough to where if you were on the phone, you can be on the internet?
Yeah, definitely. Like I remember like being home and then one of my parents being like, get off the internet. Like someone's calling. And I'm like, what?
Did you play Oregon Trail in school?
I didn't play much Oregon Trail.
Dun,
but
dun,
I heard
dun.
about it. I heard about it.
Those cows cannot cross the river.
Yeah,
I always forge that river.
Always.
Forge it every time.
And then I just remember when like AIM got popular, the AOL Instant Messenger.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was a big thing.
Cool.
It's
It's
huge.
2 letters. It's artificial and it's intelligence. Sorry.
Space is fun.
Can't be unburdened by what has
That
been.
is true.
AIM's been here a long time.
I love Venn diagrams.
The burden.
Mm.
Let's see. Other things since we've podcast. I saw Sturgill Simpson in concert. It was phenomenal.
Ooh,
Oh,
yeah,
dude,
do
how was
tell.
that?
Recommend it highly if you can catch him out on this tour. It was good. Yeah.
You have an opener?
No, which I was kind of not expecting.
Interesting.
We got there. I think there were like doors at 7 or like 6:30, and then they're like show starts at 8. Okay, opener's going on. So we were kind of like in line for a beer, and then I hear band come on, lights go down, and I'm like, oh wait, this is Sturgill playing right now. So we immediately like got down to our seats, and he played for almost 3 hours. Dude, it was awesome.
Whoa.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did he have a
Jeez.
closer?
No, it was just They
I've
had
never
like,
seen
brought in a
that.
lesser known
Was he
band. So everyone, no, don't everybody leave. Stick around.
We got one more.
Mario Rivera.
It was great.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
What was the best song live? Which sometimes is different than the best song.
It was
on
pretty
the
cool.
record.
Kaylee and I went, and he did play he did the cover of The Promise that he did. That was our like wedding song. So that was pretty
Oh,
cool.
yeah.
That's a good
nice.
Nice.
What else? He did a cover of Purple Rain by Prince. That was really
Ooh.
good.
That's a good-
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah. He had a couple.
Not
he
better
had a
than
couple
Dwight
covers.
Yoakam's.
No, Dwight Yoakam's is
Never.
really good. He forgot the words to a couple of his songs. He had to start one of them over. It was pretty funny. It was good.
Yeah.
Yeah. He had a good
Isn't
time.
that funny how you can forget the words to your own song? Like I understand, but
Right?
you have so many.
Oh
You're
my
like,
gosh,
what did
yeah.
I say? Yeah.
He didn't forget any of the words of the cover songs. He made that comment. He was like, I remember all the words to the other people's songs, but mine, I keep forgetting. Whatever. All right, I'm going to start this song over. And he like went back.
It's fine.
It was
Whatever.
Good. It was good. So yeah,
I bet he'd be solid to see live.
it
Yeah.
was good. And they were jamming out too, like 10-minute long, almost like jam out sessions. Like they were.
Where was the
I like that.
Where was the venue? Was it the same one that we went to?
It was the
Is
Maverick
the Mormon
Center.
Tabernacle?
Maverick Center.
It's the Mormon Tabernacle. Yeah,
That's right.
there's a big Mormon guy. Yeah. He's big.
Huge.
Really loves those
LDS
Latter-day Saints.
concert.
Yeah.
Just handing out coffee at the gate.
No, it's good. It's where the minor league hockey team in Salt Lake plays, called the Maverick Center. Probably
Okay.
holds like, I don't know, 20,000 people. You know, they had like
That was
basically
big.
half of it, or like 3/4 of it. 270 degrees of it were people, and then the stage
yeah,
was
okay.
at one end.
Can you give me a talk on?
Oh yeah, dude, dirt. Oh. They had like they had like two big video boards, and of course it was kind of like got a little psychedelic there, where they were kind of doing some effects. I'm sure there were a lot of people there loving that, but it was good.
I liked. What was the venue we saw Jack White in out there?
USANA. I don't know. It's an acronym. I don't know what it stands for. Like most acronyms that are out there.
Yeah,
but yeah, that one was really good.
that's a cool one, man. That cool backdrop and everything.
Yeah.
Outdoors.
You get a lot of good
that was
backdrops
nice.
with the Wasatch Mountains in Utah. It's not a bad place to have an
So,
outdoor
yeah,
venue.
Utah is pretty much all backdrop.
Yeah, all backdrop.
Mostly backdrop. Yeah, mostly backdrop.
I got back-to-back concerts this week.
Oh, do tell.
I got Midland Friday night
That'll be good.
Okay.
and Anderson in like a small so they go and play like honky tonks.
Oh, that's cool.
Like they don't get big venues and everything's general admission. So I'm just gonna pull like the 9-month pregnant wife, her favorite band card, and try to get to the front. But yeah, small venue. I mean, like it's like when you like look on it on Google, you're like, this is just like a bar and grill.
That's awesome.
Like this is not whatever. So Midland then Friday night, and then Los Tigres del Norte on Saturday night. Here in Greenville. So
Little cumbias.
no, they're not cumbias. I don't know what
Tracy's
you'd classify that. D will be mad at me, but they're like the OG. I mean, I'll put it to you this way: Johnny Cash went and played at Alcatraz. So did Los Tigres del Norte, and both of them had documentaries made about it. But yeah, they're like the classic. So before I married into a Mexican family and like learned some Mexican, also known as Spanish. They're if I was just a white Texan that thought Davy Crockett was a hero like Trey, then I would be like, oh, I know that song. I don't know what it's about, but I've definitely heard it. Right. Like I guarantee you, I send you like 3 of their hits and you're like, oh, Jefe de Jefes. Yeah, I know that one. But yeah, so that'll be interesting.
That's gonna be fun. I wonder who's gonna open for Midland. Do you know?
I don't know.
Sturgill Simpson.
Yeah, Sturgill Simpson. Yeah.
Midland's a closer.
I don't know. I'd be surprised. Let me see if I'd be surprised. Like the venue looks so small that I can't imagine there. I mean, I know there could be an opener, but let me see if the ticket show.
What if it's like a comedian or something?
Or like a magician.
What if it's PJ?
A magician
PJ, are
would
you
be
opening
so
for
good.
Midland?
Yeah.
I don't want to say anything, guys.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
NDA and everything.
Heard it
But,
here
you know,
first.
I'm not saying I'm not.
Oh, okay.
It's at Wendell's Dip and Branch.
Ah,
And if I click view PDF tickets,
it probably won't say.
Get Lucky Tour live in Anderson, South Carolina at Wendell's. I bought it secondhand from Steve Murphy, potential sponsor.
Hey, Steve, thanks.
Yeah, thanks, Steve. Yeah, it doesn't say, but anyway.
Tucker Carlson's coming.
Yeah, Big Tuck.
Who's he interviewing out there?
The crazy woman from Georgia,
Oh, great.
Lordy.
Marjorie Taylor Greene. Yeah.
She's the one who had the talking about Jewish lasers and whatnot. Was that her?
Yeah,
I mean, I think that's like every right wing.
Not just any
Yeah,
laser.
That's most
It's
elected
like-
officials from Georgia. So you
Yeah.
have to specify
Yeah.
a little more.
People are like, you must like her. She does CrossFit. I'm like, no. But like it's like you have someone that you think's like kind of where you're at, and then they start going like further the other way. This is on both sides. It's like I'll use RFK and like Marjorie, for example. They start going the other way, and you're like, man, these people are crazy. Dude, crazy. And then they keep going, and I'm like, wait, are they right? Like they might be right. like it's like there's like this middle ground between like further right or left that you're like, I don't know what that is. And then they keep going and you're like, oh, it's a round earth. Like I think, yeah, like directionally, I think we're Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know.
You see,
Political takes.
Midland opener.
Oh yeah.
Colby Acuff. I don't know who
Don't
that is.
know.
And
Is that for?
It's my stage name.
Carter Faith is the other one.
That's
Also,
my other stage
Is
name.
Acuff one word?
Yes,
Oh, yeah, one word. Two
Acuff.
F's. Yeah.
Colby
Oh,
Acuff.
let's read a little bit on him. Okay, 27. He's from Idaho. So
Boise?
Good.
there's that. Born in 96, so there's that. Started
Probably-
during COVID, so there's that.
Probably can't make any coffee.
Yeah,
That
serious.
doesn't know the 5
That's what he knows the
requirements.
5 requirements for coffee.
Speaking of local concerts, we also don't want to forget about our local sponsors. And yeah,
Pick one.
Hey there, listeners. Feeling lost in the maze of tax season? Let BW Tax Advisory Group be your guide. They specialize in guiding individuals and small businesses through the complex world of tax and accounting, using proactive financial planning and innovation. Say goodbye to tax season stress. Visit bwtaxllc.com to schedule your consultation today, or else.
Tony Soprano reading through a cup and string. That was nice.
great microphone.
I can just put another one in post if we need to.
Nah.
I say leave it.
I love it.
BW has been in the
I'm proud of that
gym.
joke.
Okay.
I should make
Has
this
he
sound
really?
worse.
Yeah, BW's hitting the gym hard. Squatting, benching, pressing, deadlifting, doing the stuff. I had lunch
Loving
with him
every day.
today.
Prepping
Hell
for
yeah.
Back
tax
on the
season.
carnivore diet. He's
Whoa.
rocking and rolling.
It's getting ready for
He's
tax
getting
season.
ready.
I mean, yeah, you got to get ready.
It's never too
I
early.
love that. See, folks, that is the tax accountant that you want. Like he's hitting there,
Seriously.
prepping.
Just
I love it.
training.
Cook. Let him
BW.
cook. Oh, there
Yeah.
you go.
BW.
BWTaxLC.com.
Great
We got
stuff.
anything left on the slide deck? I must have inputted something.
We let's see. You had Twisters. Did you see Twisters?
Oh yeah,
What'd
have you
think?
guys seen
I haven't
Twisters?
seen
Big
it.
movie guy over
I
here.
haven't seen it.
Trey, have you seen it?
No, I've seen the first one.
That's Twister. This is
Okay.
Twisters.
Singular
Yeah,
Twister.
it's one of one.
Even though there are
Yeah.
many
Yeah, have you
Twisters
seen it?
In
No, I saw a different movie recently.
I'm
Okay,
big-
we'll get
Yeah.
okay.
we'll go to that one next.
I'm a big fan of the guy in there. What's his name? Guy from
I
Top
think
Gun?
Corey Acuff.
No.
Pinocchio.
Yeah, Pinocchio. Yeah, he was good.
What's
So
that guy's name?
here's the funny thing about the movie. So
Glenn Powell.
Glenn Powell, big Glenn Powell guy. Good movie, entertaining, different than I thought it was going to go, way different than the first one. But I'm watching it, he's like from Oklahoma, cowboy, like everyone else on the outskirt of the storm. He drives in the middle of it in his Dodge, hits buttons on his truck that digs augers down in the middle of a tornado.
Yeah.
And then he shoots fireworks up into the inside. He's a YouTube
Sick.
influencer. And it's like cool and nothing's realistic. But you're like, this is entertaining. It's like, this is going on. Of course, he like falls in love with like the scientific girl that's like doing things the other way and trying to stop the storms. And we're watching the whole movie. Diane and I are like, both enjoying it, like laughing once in a while, not really like no commentary. Like it's like, hey, phone's down. Let's just like watch the movie. And then there's like one point where like she gets stuck and he gets in his truck, which is like a 4-door long bed with like a 20-foot trailer full of like 55-gallon drums of like, whatever, thermite, something to blow up the tornado. And the movie theater's like blowing off the face of the screen. And he puts it in reverse in a tornado and like backs it up like perfectly, like at full speed. He's going like 100 miles an hour. And I just paused him. I'm like, this is the most unrealistic part. It's just like, really? You stopped here? I was like, you don't understand how many trailers I've watched get backed up over time. Like this is 100% the most unrealistic part of the movie.
Of the whole movie.
But yeah, it was good. It's
What's
a good-
crazy, it's based on true story.
Yeah, of course.
Obviously.
Just like the Alamo. Just kidding.
Too soon.
Too soon?
2A, too soon. Trey. Sore subject for Trey. Sore.
Yeah, don't even. Hey, you
Still
should watch
tender.
yourself, man.
Okay.
But I would recommend it. I don't recommend a lot of movies. It's definitely like fast paced and action enough that like you don't find yourself halfway through on Instagram. You're like, oh, this is like an entertaining movie. Yeah, it's a good flick. Yeah.
So it's like Fast and Furious with weather.
Never seen any of those, but
Oh.
sounds right.
Don't see
Yeah.
him.
Hmm.
Not.
Mindless.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah. Nah.
Fast Five. One of the best movies ever made, dude. When they're in Brazil, you kidding me?
The Asian guy looks like my dad, not just because he's Asian, but
Because he's Asian.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just
What
a fun
movie did you
fact.
see?
Yeah.
Oh, I saw the one you're not supposed to see, the band one. Am I Racist?
Oh, was it?
With Matt Walsh.
Oh, not a band. Like
No,
like
I mean
Sturgill.
Oh.
Yeah, people were hating on it. Yeah.
In theaters?
It's in
Oh.
theaters.
Oh,
Oh.
isn't
It
it
was a
kind of
theater
like
release.
I mean,
What is it,
like
one-
Borat, where they're like, it's like they set up interviews, but they're like they're not real, or like, but the other people don't know
Yeah,
that they're not real.
Right, exactly.
Love that.
I mean, it's really interesting because he doesn't like make fun of them or say anything negatively about them in the entire movie. He just like asks them genuine questions, like, "So, what do you mean by that?" And like, just lets him talk. And I will say, I didn't know how gimmicky, like on the scale of like super hilarious to like totally gimmicky, like cheesy, lame. Like I didn't know where I was gonna land. Recommend it. It was hilarious. The whole theater was dying of laughter.
What's it called?
Am I racist?
Am I racist?
Yeah, he goes on a journey to discover, is he racist?
That's tough to figure out against tall grass.
Oh.
It is, dude.
Oh, wait, was there
Yeah,
any
don't
tall
even get me
grass in the
started.
movie?
Ding.
That's good. If you guys like that stuff, it's pretty funny.
All right.
Let me check that one out. What else
Yeah.
was in there?
It's a prequel to Twisters, I think.
Yeah. Oh,
Well, their
man.
mind was in a twister. I'll tell you that much.
Ooh.
Tell you what, the original Twister did not like that one when I was little. I don't remember how old I was when it
Yeah.
came
Too
out,
scary.
but it was just like, I lived in Georgia. There was tornadoes sometimes. I was like, I don't know if I like this movie, but now I'm cool.
I don't know
See,
if I like this.
see, I didn't see that as a kid. I did see it as an adult, but I can relate because we watched the Left Behind movies, and I grew up in the church, and like all the Christians disappeared except some of them. And I would just be like, I don't like the way this feels. I'm unsure. I'm 8 years old. And then my older brothers would like stage clothing on the floor. I don't want to say took their clothes off, but they would stage clothing. And like you'd walk into the room and you'd be like, no. And you like run around. You like
Grant
say
us the rapture.
You'd say the sinner's prayer like 10 times. And like, And yeah, I
What a
still,
great prank.
That is
Oh,
pretty
yeah, to this day, I like
Oh.
people are like, do you want to read the Tim LaHaye series? I'm like, nope, don't want to read that. Like, I don't like, yeah, I'm good.
It's the rapture, dude.
Yeah. My dad used to have a joke about that in church. He'd be like, something about, and then the music minister and whoever the, current music minister was, he'd be like, and then, Pastor, Richard walks in, or you walk into the church and you say, Rick, where's the pastor? And it'd be like, my dad got raptured, but his music minister was still there. And like, there's a lot of rapture jokes back
it's a
then.
good preacher joke. Yeah.
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 And then my dad was like pre-trib. So like before the tribulation, people get raptured, but my uncle was post-trib. Like, Christians lived during, and he was like, wanted to be like, speared to death, like for Christ. And I was like, all these like endings sound rough. So yeah.
Choose your own adventure.
I just wasn't at the age of accountability,
the Bible is like the original choose your own adventure
Seriously.
story. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's
Anyway,
pretty good.
I feel like we hit a lot of topics.
Did hit a lot of topics. Love that.
Yeah. Are we at the end of the slides? Are we at Commander's comments?
Let's see. One last check through the slide deck
Anything-
here.
Anything on trash?
Save
Yeah,
rounds,
trash.
alibis.
So listen up. All right, MRE heaters. I'm gonna need you to separate those. And then, Trey, you want to talk more about breakfast talk? Talking about how you're talking about like desserts and breakfast, or no? You don't want to talk about that. You don't remember.
It's we
Sensitive
can.
subject.
I don't know.
Too
I just
too
thought
controversial.
I feel like breakfast is the only meal that you can have dessert as the main course, and no one blinks an eye at it. That was
That's why you have savory pancakes and then problem solved.
there. You go. Yeah.
So real question about that, not satire. Do people think that they're eating dessert when they walk into Starbucks, one, I'd make the argument that the drink they ordered is dessert.
Oh, 100%.
But two, they look in that glass case and they order like a blueberry scone. Like to me, that's very clearly dessert. But like, I just think like in America, people think that's breakfast.
Yep.
Am I?
Oh, 100%.
Okay. So you're not saying like around Christmas, you wake up and there's like leftover cake and you're like, oh, it's Aunt Frankie's cake. I'm going to eat this. But I just mean like most people day to day, like they go like, I mean, Dunkin' Donuts, big fan, potential sponsor, like coffee, and they buy a donut. It's like, who wakes up and it's like, I want a donut.
Like if you walked out, or if I walked out, if I walked out and it was breakfast time, it was like 8:30 in the morning, and I was eating a donut, you'd be like,
I'm fasting still at that time, but sure.
True. Yeah. But you'd be like, okay, like he's having a donut for breakfast. If I go have donuts for dinner, you're like, what are you doing? You know, it's just a different. Weird. I don't know when that time. Is it like post? Is it 10 a.m.? Is that when
I think it's sometime.
Well, McDonald's is 10:30.
There you go.
I think it's like sometime after people learned how to make coffee and before they learned how to use remotes on TVs. Somewhere in there when that happened.
I think Europe's probably worse though than.
Yeah, but see, they
America.
balance it out by heavily smoking cigarettes.
So you're not even
they
hungry.
eat calories in the morning, then they just smoke cigarettes all day, and they look
you're not
great.
hungry.
There's also a lot of like deli
balances.
meats at breakfast for them also. So I don't know.
I feel like they're way more into like the pastries and the breads and all of that. I mean,
Nutella
it's almost a cliche to
breakfast,
say like, oh, you're gonna have a lot of bacon or something or a bunch of sausage and eggs for breakfast. You know.
Tell you what. Those biscuits and gravies and those UGRs, hard to beat.
That's like mom used to make.
Those are good.
Have you heard of?
Right there.
Have you guys heard of mermites?
Mermites.
Is it like a small mermaid?
Yes,
No,
that's actually
no,
really
and
good.
no,
I
and
thought
no.
that
That's a good. That's a more intelligent guess.
Okay.
Trey, have you heard of them?
No.
Okay, so what would you call? I'll use terms that aren't correct, therefore that you can use terms that are correct.
Okay.
The big MREs that are boiled and then served in the field, by a chow marine. What would you call that? Like we're getting what type of food today? Or like what would you call that?
UGR, right?
UGR is a technical word. Anything
Hot
else
chow.
you might call it? Hot chow, right? Like I always call it hot chow, but UGRs is when she's like unit group.
Ration.
It's an acronym.
Ration.
No, rations, unit group rations, right? So it's like PJ, it's like, so you've seen an MRE, it's
Yeah.
like a pouch of food. So imagine that pouch of food is now on like a giant tray. And so they boil water in these vats and they put the trays inside the water and put a lid on it and they bring it to you in
It's
the field.
literally a
Putting
giant.
tray
It's a
inside
giant
of water.
MRE. Yes.
Okay.
Ooh,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
hot here.
Yeah. And it's hot chow.
Okay.
So the Army who fed us during this, I mean, they delivered it and
They
then
know
we
how to do
fed the
chow.
Marines. They call it mermites.
Oh, that's wrong.
And I was like, where are the Emiratis? And the XO was like, what are you talking about? Like, and I couldn't remember what mermites was, but yeah, mermites. No, same chow. Same chow.
That's like what
Same
Australian
like a-
people
same-
put
Like,
on
hey, I'm gonna go
toast.
use the head in the Marine Corps, and the
Yeah.
Army guy's like, I'm using the latrine.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
mermites. But
What
it's the same food. It's the baby dicks. It's the soggy bacon. It's the explosives. It's the
God, what were like
Love all
the
that.
the eggs that are they're like tennis balls that you're trying
they're
to
rubber.
chop up. Yeah, rubber.
so bad?
Yeah, but it's mermites. Their term
What's
is
it called,
mermites.
PJ?
Vegemite. That's the
Vegemite.
Australian
Ah,
word.
Vegemite,
That's
yeah.
as close.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a vegetarian mermite.
Piece of a
Vegemite.
Vegemite
Not
sandwich.
good. My dad likes those. Loves those.
Really? I've never had it.
Yeah.
I'm scared of it.
I think it's really good.
Really?
Is it?
Are you not a fan?
Vegemite?
I've never had it.
Don't
I don't know what's
Yeah.
in it. What's in
It's
it?
a-
What is
it's like
it?
It's fermented
savory.
yeast extract.
It's just
Yeah.
like it's
Super
just like ground
salty.
up Zin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Covered in syrup.
I'm in.
It's vegetarian.
Breakfast.
I still
or
can't tell what
America, we
it
call
is.
that
I'm looking right at
breakfast.
it.
Yeah. I did have a Marine ask me for a vegetarian MRE, and I was like,
So you're just not eating this week, son.
what?
Impossible MRE.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're all vegetarian.
It's not meat to
definitely-
begin with.
Actually,
Yeah, the Marine Corps was cutting edge on Impossible Burgers.
for real.
Beyond MREs.
Yeah. Any save rounds, alibis?
About it. If we can move over to Commander's comments.
Next week we got to get into We got to get into our updated country music playlist.
Yeah. Has
So
Grant
most
seen
of
that?
next episode. No,
I-
Grant has not.
Okay.
Well,
like
is
we
that what
gotta-
you put? I think, did you post it and I didn't look?
Nope.
No.
I didn't send it to you
Okay.
because you're
Is
not
that
on Apple
deliberate?
Music. You're a Spotify guy.
Is it deliberate?
No,
Do we
you
want
did
Grant to
send-
go to this blind?
I want Grant to go into it blind.
Okay.
Uh,
I like it. Okay.
I
need
think
to
you
put more
did
work on
send
then.
it, and I saw it was Apple Music, and I didn't click it.
That actually might be true.
And
too.
to be clear, I'm not a Spotify guy. I married into a Spotify family. I'm a Pandora One guy,
I'm married.
and I'm
Grant loves Microsoft 95.
Yeah.
no.
know.
I like the first Apple computer in like '94.
The big colorful one.
Good piece of
Yeah,
gear.
I had an eMac. I had well, first I had the iMac that looked like a toilet seat,
Yeah.
and I would buy them refurbished. And then I had an eMac, which like took up your whole desk, and it was
Yeah.
like an all-in-one, but it was great.
Those things
And I
were
played
massive.
toasters.
I remember my dad had a gateway or something like that.
Yeah, Gateway. Yeah,
Yeah.
Hewlett Packard.
Ooh, yeah.
Dude,
Yeah,
you're getting
HP.
it
They
dealt.
had, they had
Yeah.
the cow box. What was the cow box? I think that was Gateway.
Yeah,
I
that
don't
was
know,
Gateway.
something. Yeah. See,
Dang.
Yeah,
throwback.
Like we had
Let's all reminisce for a second.
IBM.
yeah.
We had
Wow.
Prodigy was our internet service provider. And we had
Prodigy.
We had dial up
Oh,
for
man.
like, I think until I left for college. Like we had dial up for so long. So long.
Yeah.
My mom got a Toshiba laptop, and the email client was called Juno.
Oh yeah,
And
Juno.
you dialed up through Juno, and like all you had was email, and it's like it was so like cutting edge that there was no one to even email, but like you had email.
I think my dad did that because he was a nerd.
Yeah,
Is
weird. Good
Love
times.
that.
Ah,
Blackberries.
back in the day, Blackberry's Brick Breaker.
did you ever have a BlackBerry?
I did
Yeah.
when I worked in DC.
Oh yeah.
You did.
It was the coolest thing to do ever was like if you're an intern in DC and like you're on your BlackBerry acting like you're like, sending the nuclear codes,
Yeah.
and then you get into the metro and you lose service.
Yeah.
And so you just play Brick Breaker.
Yeah.
You're like, what's your high score, bro?
Oh
yeah,
man,
that was great.
I kind of wish they'd bring the flip phones back. Sometimes those
You
are
can
nice.
still get them. Play some
You
Snake.
still get them? Little Snake.
Yeah. I think they still sell
T9.
'em.
Hey, push to talk should have taken off. I'm just saying.
I
Push to
agree.
talk.
That was pretty
Yeah.
awesome.
Just, it's like a black ear, but a cell phone. Was it Nokia?
Yeah.
T-Mobile?
Mhm.
Yeah, something.
Sounds right.
Hey, Trey. And then if you don't answer, I just call you. Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
if
Good
no
save
more
round.
save rounds and alibis, I mean, I could say some things, but we got a guy that's trained up to do it.
Do we? I don't know. I'm
Thanks
rusty
for a
on it.
landing.
Yeah, I mean, there's only one way. Give it some WD-40. Get
We'll
it
see.
back.
We'll see
Yeah.
how rusty I've gotten. All right. What episode are we on?
3-9.
Niner,
Niner.
039er. Bingo, Grant. Of the
Okay.
Okay.
podcast.
He timed that.
He did it on purpose.
Yeah.
Got
I
you.
would like to thank everybody for listening. Show about nothing. That's what we talk about. And we love to do it. I'd like to thank our sponsor, BW Tax, as always, keeping the lights on. I believe we are still powered by the Strength Co. Verified. Yep, still verified.
Goodness.
Love seeing the Slack, Strength Co. Slack. Links down below in the show notes. Find us on YouTube. Give us a like and subscribe there. I feel like last time I checked, I think we just hit 300 people, which is
Can't count them all.
it's a good congregation, man. You know what I mean?
That's a church right there.
That's a church right there. So thank you for people who subscribe. Love to see more. If you go to www.theokpodcast.com, you will find the links to the social media. Go there, give us a follow. We all have our each individual social media
Personal.
accounts that
Very
we are
active.
very active on, super active. And we
Jeff's
all
live right now.
Yeah, Jeff's he is.
Look
Look
at
at that.
him go. He's live. Dude.
But Coach, I miss anything?
I think that's good. I got one alibi.
Ooh,
Do you
what
have
is
an
it?
amateur lifting update?
No.
Okay. Next week?
Yeah, next week.
Next week.
That slide will get updated
All
next
right.
week.
That's
Yeah.
that's it.
That's a lot. Oh, the slide was actually updated. It just didn't make the cutoff.
I'm just going to
Teams.
brief to the changes. I'm just going to brief to him.
Yeah, I'll just brief the changes.
No changes.
Well, that's good because that means you're going to brief. Everyone else just reads the quadrant. So there's 100 of us here. Yep, I'm aware.
On that 18-inch screen, baby.
Love it. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time.